know, it might be confusing, but you know, if you know what you want to do, it's not that confusing. If you're really concerned, you know, about spending any money whatsoever, then I think, you know, it's on you to maybe do like a couple of minutes of research to see what your options are. So that's how I feel about it anyways. If you just want to wait for reviews, then, you know, you can do that. So here we can see some stuff and things. In the beginning, I'm just going through the loadout a little bit. You know, if you're super interested, you can always like check out the VOD later. And like pause and, you know, check out all these, you know, inscriptions and you know, check out the stats and compare. But as you can see, I'm using some things here, like an ability called 10,000 Suns. That is a masterwork seal. So there's not just higher. I don't know if 10,000 Suns is available at a lower rarity. Thank you, man.
Feels amazing, man.
Thank you so much, John. Oh, yeah, I think we're supposed to get like double sub alerts as well. But I don't mind. I don't feel like that stuff gets spammed too much. Hey, Darly Sam. Yeah, like, you know, for people who are curious, for people who want to, you know, maybe try it and check it out without committing to anything, there's options. I don't think that's a bad thing. So I did try a heavy pistol here. It's you know, weird because when I recorded this, I still hadn't played much of the Storm at all, so I was like, you know, still kind of getting used to the floating. And now when I'm looking at it in hindsight, I understand so much more of what I'm seeing, you know. So this will be an interesting experience for me as well. Of course, I spliced the clips together and looked at the video a bit while editing it, but I didn't watch like every second of the whole thing. So I'm sure I'll notice something new. I'll also get a chance to show the launch bay, which is gonna be wait, do we have sound? A little bit. Here we go. So here we're doing a contract, which is like a short mission that you do for an NPC. I guess it's a little shorter than an expedition, maybe, or well, I guess everything that you go out to do is technically an expedition, but contracts are of the shorter variety, I should say.
We'll need to find the fragments and shut it down. I understand.
Kizamba, hello. And you know, we can, now that we played the demo, we can already notice some changes in the HUD. Like for example, up there on the, excuse me, on the left, I don't know if it's gonna stay that way. That's kind of the problem with this recording, is that some of it is different from the demo, but I can't say for sure if it's gonna be in the release version. So that's a little tricky, but you know, we'll get an idea of what they've tried at least and what they may have planned. I don't know what the release version is gonna hold exactly, other than what they've said publicly. But in this version, we could see all the people in our squad up there, as well as an indication of where they are relative to us, as well as their health and shields. So that's immediately different. Also, I think the compass is a little different. And I can't remember if the health bar was segmented that way in the demo. It looks unfamiliar to me, but yes, the primer and detonator icons are also different. Thank you, Kisamba.
Hope streaming Anthem will be as much fun as
ME. I'll help you out there, text to speech lady. Oh boy, you have no idea. I so wish that as well. I think what I'm mainly gonna do is I'm gonna try to enjoy the story content sort of just offline, and then I really hope that just focusing on some missions and some gameplay, and you know, focusing on the multiplayer aspect. I'm really hoping that will be a sort of fun package to stream every once in a while, because I don't feel like, you know, sitting here and listening to NPCs while streaming, and it's really hard to get immersed and take in the dialogue. Of course, repeated runs, it doesn't matter, but the first time I do the critical path, the first time I do, you know, most of the expeditions and stuff, I don't think I'll stream that. Because as many questions and issues as I have about the game, I really feel like it could be something special, and I don't want to take that away from, or I don't want to take away from my first experience where I can, you know, really get into it in my own time. But there's all the combat, there's all the missions, all the expeditions, and I'm hoping all of that will be really fun to stream and play together. So I think there's potential for it to be just as fun as, you know, what I started out with, ME3 multiplayer. That's why I came to Twitch, that's why I started streaming. Cause I enjoyed ME3 multis so much, and I loved having people from chat hop in, and I love discussing builds and strats and things. So, you know, my ultimate hope here is ultimate is that you know, I could really, in a sense, go back to my roots and at the same time really get something fresh and something new for my channel. Fingers crossed. I think we'll only really know once it's been out a few weeks. Health bar depends on the mods you put in. Yeah, but I don't remember seeing the little segments. Or maybe that's also like part of what you're saying. How much of the story do I know already from what I got to play? Not much, actually. I played a little bit of the beginning. You know, they haven't shown the tutorial even. I think somebody put out the character creator even though you weren't supposed to. But the very beginning is really only the thing I've had spoiled, and a lot of it when I played it was in a really early stage. So I'm confident that in my, you know, very first hour or first few hours of playing, I will already get into story stuff that I have never seen. So in that sense, being part of the feedback program, I think was a really good experience this time. Like, we didn't get spoiled by accident or on purpose at any point. I still feel like I have lots of questions and a lot to discover. So we played very little of the critical path, and you know, I'm sure some of you know more about the story than I do if you've tried to stay on top with everything that the devs have said. So yeah, that has not been a problem, and it's a big reason I'm really looking forward to playing the full game. AI needs to be more aggressive. I totally agree. I would say the enemies are one thing. Like, there's a ton of positives about the combat. I love the flying, I love the hovering movement. I can't praise that enough, really, but yeah, enemies is one thing that I still have a bit of a problem with. Like, it was also some of the early feedback, you know, that they're pretty hard to see. I know they added the little dots, the little red dots that indicate where the enemies are as a HUD element, but which helps me find them, but I still feel like I can't really see what's happening. They don't stand out that much. I can't often, depending on the lighting, I can't necessarily see the impact on them. It's kind of just flashing, and even when I shoot at them, it feels a little vague, and I don't hear many sounds that they're making. So I definitely wish that the enemies would be a little more interesting, that they'd pop a bit more, that I get more feedback from them. It's come some way in that regard, but I hope it'll keep improving. Hello, Ika, welcome back.
Apparently subscription updates are more than once per month.
It's part of the new change where they, instead of counting only the streak, they now count the total months you've been subbed, even when there have been breaks in between. So yeah, I would say the enemies in general, how they feel and behave and look and sound, that's one of my biggest criticisms at the moment. Especially just when comparing to something like ME3MP, where you could just see them very clearly. The impact of your abilities and guns was very satisfying. You know, the headshots, oh, you know, it was all there. So I'm kind of, you know, maybe I shouldn't compare too much, but it's just one of those things that, you know, some games have done that really well and others maybe not that well. It's also one of the areas where I felt Andromeda fell really short. So a few bits of character interaction made you laugh. Yeah, I've experienced that in maybe not in the demo content, but in some of the early story content that I got to play. So I think a couple of characters I might end up liking them a lot. Siren, if I didn't greet you, hello. I got so caught up in my own prattling. Razak, hello. In the demo you could go everywhere lone wolf. How do you mean? Love that they gave map limits a name in the lore. How do you mean? No, this is not demo footage. This particular... Aw, thank you, Taryn. Anthem hype. This is... And Kitty, hello. This is from an, like, dev build set up with Endgame stuff. So we're playing a legendary contract here, which is an example of the things you'll be able to do. Oh, and it ended apparently. We defeated the... Or maybe we didn't defeat the Ursix successfully. We had some problems with disconnection and stuff. But here's the launch bay, okay? So when you exit an expedition, you can choose to come back to the launch bay, which is like a mini... not quite a fort, but a mini version. So you can access the store, I think. Yeah, you can access the vault, your inventory, and you don't have to go into the forge to, like, I'll show that again. This was another thing in the build we played. You don't have to go into the forge to ready up and start an expedition, right? Yeah, I love this music. Definitely. You can, again, you see there, hold to start expedition. It's so hard pointing in the right direction. So hopefully that will be in the final game as well. I would think so. Just, yeah, a bit less. Fewer steps to get into, to launch a mission with your squad. Oh yeah, I think we just had to restart it. This is still the same contract. I think our R6 bugged out or something.
Wretched scars. I only hope there's anything left to study after they're gone.
Can you tell anything about the supposed small endgame content of the 3 strongholds? People are going bananas about a tweet. I mean, it's one of the questions I have, but you know, the strongholds aren't going to be the only thing. I think that for me, there's a big question there of how long the story and the NPC stuff is going to sustain us, and how quickly just the repeatable missions will be the only thing left to do, so to speak, if you want to keep grinding. Like, I don't know, I mean, there's the strongholds, there's these legendary contracts that this is an example of. I'm having lots of trouble dealing with that scar. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I'm really just hoping that the world in itself will be so big that and have many different events in it that we don't feel like we need a plethora of these linear expeditions or strongholds to farm. So I don't want to try to like draw direct parallels to Destiny and be like, oh well, it's like the same as if there was 3 strikes in Destiny. Destiny doesn't have this huge dynamic world that isn't, you know, it's supposed to be a little different every time you go in, and there can be these different things happening, different things you can discover that can actually change from day to day, or I don't know, week to week. Is this persistent third person? No. You're in third person whenever you're in your javelin, basically. But when you're in the fort, interacting with NPCs, seeing cutscenes, doing the dialogue and all that, that's when you're in first person. So the way it works is you don't see your character unless you're in the suit. You'll see the face, glimpses of the face every once in a while, but you just won't see your character outside of the suit a whole lot. The same feelings. Some enemies feel a bit underwhelming. Yeah. Yeah, so totally get what you're saying.
I see it.
As the storm,
This is a problem. You must find the fragments and silence the relic.
the last boss in Tyrant Mine is almost trivial because the spiders can't do anything to you when you're up in the air. You only have to dodge the webs of the spider boss a little bit, but that's pretty much it. I'm gonna show another stronghold after this. That boss was definitely much more challenging for Storm, and it was different. It had different mechanics. I think I preferred the stronghold that we played here, even though we only ran it once, and I don't remember everything. But it did feel more challenging.
Let's continue collecting.
And that's like another thing I have a huge issue with. Like, it looks so weird when you kill enemies. This is what I was talking about with the impact and the feedback. It should just not die like that. I don't know if I'm the only one who is bothered by these things, but it's something that I felt the Mass Effect trilogy did so much better. And it feels even more sort of pertinent if it's a melee attack, at least to me. I don't know. I don't know. I tend to, I can sometimes get a little hung up on details. Oh yeah, you mean the turbulence, Razok. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm also. I think it's a nice touch that if you go too high, it doesn't just like teleport you back. It kind of just, you know, it gets turbulent and the screen starts shaking, and you kind of just have to descend a little. Yeah, that's nice. Although, you know, the demo had boundaries, right, on the map. It seemed a lot of people misunderstood the message that you got, you know, when you crossed the border, when you went too far, and I think it seemed a lot of people mistook that for, you know, squad tethering, like your randoms went to do something and they ended up pulling you back in, when that is not what happened. So maybe that could have, you know, been communicated a little better. Looks a heck of a lot better. Hello, the mask. Raid Dad wants raid. Can you raid in the weekend? I think 8-man missions or something. No, I think as far as we know, there can only ever be four players in the same instance. Just like Mass Effect multiplayer. To some, it might look a little bit like Destiny. To me, having played both a ton, I don't think they have much in common, to be honest. Simply like, you know, the gameplay, the combat, the feel of it all is just so different. But, you know, if anything, I would think of it as Mass Effect multiplayer. You know, the idea of a four-person squad scaled up into a full game with a massive open world and some set linear expeditions that you can take on together. I think that's just a sort of scaled up version of Mass Effect multiplayer, is with you know, with some story that you still experience on your own as your character. Is, for me at least, a much more accurate way of thinking about Anthem than... It's not an MMO, you know? It's... if you're gonna compare it to Destiny, there's so many things you have to like take into account. Well, it doesn't have that, and it doesn't have that, and it's not like that, and you know, there isn't a whole lot left that they actually have in common if you really look closely. And that was it. Yeah, the body cleanup might be a little weird, and something that they might tune still. They kind of just disintegrate in front of your eyes. It's like, oh. Whereas, I think in the past, you know, it's been more of a thing that as long as you have them in your field of vision, they're there, and then when you look away or walk away, they disappear off camera, as opposed to just crumbling before your eyes. Hey, Locke. Oh, there will be an option to disable camera shake at launch. I did not know that. Thank you, Hink. Yeah, so this is what I guess getting epic or legendary loot is gonna look like. There's a bit more fireworks and ceremony to it. So once again, beware endgame spoilers, equipment, missions. Next up is gonna be the Stronghold. I think we'll get another look at the launch bay here. Yeah. So I think more people than 4 can be in the launch bay. Could be wrong. Not sure how it's gonna be at launch once again. No, I'm not playing right now. This is pre-recorded. And this is of a build that put us later in the game with endgame stuff available. Activities and equipment. You can do Saturday. Okay, thank you. Lack of weight and impact. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that, but it's even though it's something that I kind of recognize from Andromeda, I still think that either they can tweak it so it feels better, or the rest of the game is gonna be good enough that I won't care. Either way, it's good. If either of those things happen. It plays nothing like Warframe, especially not the enemies. Yeah, I have seen a lot of people say, oh, it's like Warframe, but it costs $60. Maybe I should play Warframe just so that I can take a stance on that myself, but I don't think they look that similar. And when you look at, I guess, the structure of the game and what else it is available apart from the moment-to-moment combat, I think the differences start racking up. Class distinctions? Oh yeah, for sure. That's another thing I really feel. And Destiny only has the 3 classes, right? Whereas this one has 4 at launch, and they're really different from each other. So I don't feel like you often have that need in Destiny to bring a nice varied composition of classes. It's pretty much whatever if everybody wants to run a warlock or a hunter. But I'm hoping, and I think it seems like Anthem is gonna reward you much more if you bring a variety of javelins, and that they can complement each other and make up for synergize with each other on a very deep level. So as you can see, this Stronghold is more Scar themed. And yeah, this is from about a month ago. Oh, Jade, thank you very much.
Stir 7.
Thank you very much for the resub. Welcome back. Yeah, this is from... When was I in London? I think it was... Yeah, it's a few weeks ago. Once again, spoiler warning. This is from a Stronghold that you haven't played. Only spoil if it's Interceptor. Yeah, I don't have any Interceptor footage here, unfortunately. Want the game to fail. Yeah, for example, the microtransaction scandal is a perfect example of, you know, how many just love a good scandal, you know. They know that anything they say about microtransactions in a game is gonna get people's attention. So it was a little sad to see, you know, from everybody's perspective. You have to pay real money for it to unlock. You can't easily play for free. Yeah, you know, people like to emphasize certain aspects that, you know, supports their point, maybe.
See? That wasn't so hard, says the backseat driver.
Hold on. I'm detecting extremely high energy readings further in.
Damn, this speeds up our time.
Oh shit, I'm streaming 30 FPS. Oh my god. I was gonna stream 60. I'm sorry, guys.
Ugh, of course. Corvus doesn't do simple missions.
It's not like I told
I just froze, like, should I restart the stream?
Such a long commitment. I started college today.
Really? You started college? Congratulations and thank you for the 15 months. I'm gonna use the total months, but not the streak.
Brute force isn't gonna cut it.
Not every problem has to be solved with a hammer. If we restart the power,
Well, how
it
was
should
it?
fix itself.
There's a few. Stars are almost as much as
Did you feel lightning was better than say shields, or was it just me? I think ice and lightning is supposed to be, yeah, more effective against the blue shields. I also love Destiny, but you know, the more I played of both Destiny and Anthem, you know, in the beginning, I was worried that it would only make sense to play either. And of course, you know, we still haven't played a ton of Anthem,
They
but
can at least organize them.
Yeah, stars don't really do that.
I'm starting to feel like Anthem wouldn't necessarily have to be that grind game for me. I'm fairly confident there will be plenty of ways to enjoy Anthem other than just grinding over and over for the exact combinations of inscriptions that I want on my stuff. So I get more confident that they're not gonna feel like I'm essentially doing the same activity if I'm playing either game. So I think I could rock them both simultaneously and not feel like I'm basically like I have to split into two people. This weekend's beta. What beta? Oh, Division? Man, I'm not following the any Division stuff because I haven't played it. Too many things that I should be playing. Yes, well, it's not a replay, but it's like,
We're in.
well, technically, yeah, it's, I recorded this at a capture event
They're important.
a few weeks ago, and it's an endgame build. So this is a Stronghold and not the one that we played in the demo. So, spoiler warning,
They are resourceful.
we're using like masterwork and maybe even some legendary things. I don't really know because I didn't want to look too closely at all the stuff, to be honest. I want to leave a ton of discovery for myself. Crossplay. Electrical prime shields.
Please do.
Oh yeah, isn't there supposed to be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think currently it's a mechanic that you can't set up a shielded enemy for a combo. Which makes me a little sad. I love taking out shields with tech bursts and stuff
Yeah.
in Mass Effect, but you know, it doesn't have to be the same.
Woven meat.
Even though it's probably not. Seth, please just go with it. Found the source of the smell.
Rotten meat.
Yes, electric and ice is supposed to be the most effective against shields. A team meta? I don't know, but I'm hoping that the team meta will be one of each javelin,
From what we
right?
can tell, Scars prefer meat that's gone off. Why do you know these things?
Oh yeah, Apex Legends, eh? I have to say, it looked
I found a scar.
pretty fun.
Thanks, Seth.
I've never really been into that genre, but
Definitely not covert.
I played the Titanfall 2 campaign and I loved it, so I'm sure the gameplay, if I had time, you know, and I wanted to play a Battle Royale, it could be stupid fun. I'm not playing Jellyfish. This is endgame footage recorded at a capture event that took place last month. I don't blame you guys for reading the text down there. There's a lot of text, I know. It's just to keep the disclaimer really visible for the VOD as well. Good luck, Belta. Right, it's free to play. It seems like they ticked a lot of the right boxes. And you know, I mean, it's a popular genre for a reason, you know. So I can't really fault anybody for wanting to, you know, wanting in on that market. Yeah, I don't play BR games myself, but like others are having fun with it. Like, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. As an EU streamer, do you think it would be valuable to Twitch to have an extension that gives subtitles to non-English streamers? You mean subtitles like from, you mean like live captions?
It's a default setting.
I wonder, isn't Twitch experimenting with that already? Translating what they say. I'm sure, but that stuff is so hard. Like, you know, accurate live captions, if you don't have a way of training the speech-to-text system, is gonna be a mess. And it's actually a really difficult technology. You have already done it? What do you mean? Are you an extension developer? Feels very polished. Yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing, right? When it comes to gunplay and movement and all that. Hey, Blood Shooter. I'm pretty good, thanks. How are you? Hello, Phil Nizer. An actual Bioware story game? Well, they've already teased. I guess this is supposed to be an actual Bioware story game, but I don't know if I buy it completely, because I do feel like, based on what I played, I can't really say that the immersion is on the same level. Mostly because of the first-person perspective, you know, the way you're always staring at these characters and you can see, you know, their every little move. Like, you never get a break, which you would get from the normal, you know, cinematic cuts and shots from different angles that change when, you know, one person speaks and then the next person speaks. It makes it so much harder to get immersed, I think, and to have these characters not look silly, you know what I'm saying? Because the way I've seen of what I've seen of the NPCs is that many of their faces look amazing. Like, they look very lifelike, lip sync is fine, expressions are fine, but there's all these little movement, like if it's not a cutscene, that may end up feeling a little weird, you know, and they like, sometimes they like look around while they're saying something, and it's like, hey, I'm here. What are you doing? Stuff that kind of just breaks immersion because it's not scripted or directed in the same way that dialogue scenes would be in traditional Bioware games. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about immersion there. Whether they're really gonna pull that off. But I don't want to write it off just yet. But you know, I share the concerns. That said, you do not have to be. I don't think you have to be worried about future Bioware story games. They've already teased the next Dragon Age, with an, you know, actual teaser. You're using speech text recognition software they make available. They did all the training with Alexa. That sounds interesting. I would actually love to do subtitling, like live captions for my stream, if only because, you know, I know for a fact that I have deaf regulars. I tried something a few years back that did not work very well. It used the Windows speech recognition. And I feel like it did more harm than good. Even though I spent a decent amount of time, you know, trying to add Mass Effect and gaming specific words to my dictionary so that the system would recognize the special words. It just did not work very well, but I'm sure STT tech has come a long way since, so I'd definitely be open to trying something new out. There's plenty of people who are deaf or hard of hearing or something that still enjoy Twitch, so I think it would primarily be for those that I like to do that. No, I'm not playing right now. My hands are here. This is footage, just read the text down there. It's footage I recorded at a capture event last month. Oh, I'm not shooting at the weak point of the turret. It's weird because I have all this experience now of the demo. You can see my flying is also on point. You don't prefer the first person view either. Yeah, it depends, you know. I think it can... I mean, just watching my flying here makes me nauseous. I feel like I definitely did not have it figured out yet at this point. So yeah, this was from before the demos. Yes. Okay, once again. Spoiler warning. This is a Stronghold that has not been in any demo. Okay? This is I'm doing like a session here with examples of endgame content, and it was I don't know if it was exclusive to Game Changers actually. IGN may have some coverage or something, I don't know to be honest, because I haven't gone looking for that stuff.
Fresh air.
Because as funny as it might sound, I, you know, kind of don't want to spoil myself any more than necessary.
But it's not the first Skylight to try. I've never seen a swarm this size. And considering their defenses, this place must mean something.
What did I think about the storytelling? At this point, yeah, since I just talked about it and we have limited time, maybe I would encourage you to check the VOD. First person perspective would be less immersive. Yeah. In a way, it's immersive. I totally get it. I think it's immersive when you're mostly just observing, you know, what's happening. Are there little conversations, little things going on? But I think it becomes difficult when you're interacting closely with another character. When you're actively engaging with them, you expect them to react and address you in a certain way. Like, it's fine if you're kind of just overlooking, you know, overhearing people that maybe aren't paying attention to you. That can be super immersive. But when you can see every little movement and every little gesture of an NPC while you're talking to them, it's pretty challenging to make that not weird, if that makes sense, I think. Because you constantly have your eyes on them. But yeah, we'll see. You feel like a camera. Yeah, I guess that's where it does help that you can still hear the voice of the character.
Hell is that? Zeb, you forgot to mention the tank. The tank's new.
Okay, last chance. We're approaching the boss. Avert your eyes if you don't want Stronghold spoilers.
It must have entombed itself to heal its wound. Cool theory.
So this boss fight I enjoyed quite a bit more than the Tyrant Mine one. It was not my first time seeing the spider boss. I'd seen it at a previous occasion, but this one has like
The construct's
you know,
energy is still
actual
rising.
mechanics to it. It has these giant,
conversation with my boss. And you, well,
whatever those are.
Shoot the pylons. That'll disrupt his shields.
Yeah, pylons
really be shooting shaper stuff?
that you have
What's
to
the worst that could happen?
disrupt and stuff. And there was, like, these enemies, I feel, were a lot tougher than just the spiders that you could easily hover above. So this took us a little while. You can tell I'm gonna try to figure out how those pylons work. They aren't taking damage. Doesn't feel very safe to hover around, but I'm trying it anyway. Let's see if I can damage that thing. Oh, I can.
That's it, shields down. Give them hell.
Simmer. Thank you very much for the 22 months at tier 2. Very kind of you. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Kitty. And especially when I first learned about that, I felt like it was a pretty big concern for me, like, but why? You know, why can't I see my character? But, yeah, I don't want to write it off just because it feels counterintuitive to me. I do want to evaluate Anthem for what it actually is, you know, judge it on its own merits and not try to compare it too much to what I'm used to or what I expect based on blah blah blah, but let it be its own thing, and yeah, and then draw my conclusions as to how well it works. I'm not sure what you mean, Joker, but okay. Music is cool here as well. I think it's quite Mass Effect-like. Yeah. I don't know. I see what you're saying. I play a game like... Ooh. Hi, Rudy.
Sub again? I guess so, Stern.
Thank you again for the 21 months. Yeah, it's a thing that happens because... Oh, this is where I got distracted and died. Or is it? Maybe it's not. Distractions happened a lot while I recorded this, by the way. There was so much going on. Yes, so about the sub, it's a thing that the double resub alert is what happens because Twitch changed the system by which they count the months that you've been subbed. It now counts the total, not just the current streak, which I think is a very good thing. Yes. I don't think so, Joker. Can just hear his thing going. I do look forward to playing this Stronghold again. And I also haven't seen anything of the third Stronghold that'll be available at launch, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. How much the gunplay feels like Mass Effect. Yeah, for sure, you know, they've used that knowledge and the assets and everything.
Take down the shield.
For me personally, yeah, like, absolutely. It basically feels like better Mass Effect Andromeda. And since I personally didn't love Andromeda gunplay and combat, I am hoping that it'll keep getting better. Get killed by the fan blades? I don't know. I was at low health and I think I tried to revive somebody. But yes, I think it may have taken me out. Yeah, they do damage. You can't just touch them, go near them. And there's also plenty of snipers in the area. I'm not gonna do it right now, Joker. I'm a little busy with my own stream here. Oh, I actually have a shotgun here. That seems punchier than anything I used in the demo. And that flame ability looks... Wait, am I playing with mouse and keyboard? Oh yeah, I am. I forgot about that. I should have realized. Yes, Rudy. I think it's Scar only. Maybe some kind of animals here and there, but basically, yeah, or definitely mostly Scar. And you definitely feel that during the boss fight, especially because they're pretty tough as ads, I should say, if there's something more intense going on. Oh yeah, dude. I'm looking forward to that flame ability. I didn't have it in the demo. And this, I gotta say, this ultimate is like, I didn't even dare hope for something like that. You know, I was a little skeptical, like, am I really gonna feel like, you know, this amazing, like, superhero? But once I activated that ultimate, I was like, okay. Alright. This is pretty dope. Yeah, Kitty, I only tried something really low level, because I didn't get anything good. You want to see the ultimate again? I can do that. I might get it. No, I don't think I'll get it back. A little more. Yeah, so this is the Storm ultimate. Here we go. Explosion 1. Number 2. Finally, fire. Have to watch out for that pylon. Or thing. Scar, Bugs, Titans. I think there's 3. Yeah, there's 3 known enemy factions right now. There's the Scar, then there's like the I don't know what you'd call them. And then there's the Dominion. And of course, yeah, the wildlife or scorpions. I don't know if the scorpions are a faction. I'm gonna step away for just a little bit, so you just watch the fight to the end. In the meantime, I'll be right back.
Spawning scars.
Yeah, I'll put in my report. But first, how about a round of celebratory drinks?
As long as Corvus is paying.
Yeah, the Dominion. Oh man, I hope the Dominion will actually feel, you know, a bit more original than what we've seen from BioWare, I guess traditionally. I'm just gonna say right now that if they have anything that resembles like mind control, I'm gonna be like, you know, we've seen that now. Or, you know, like repurposing, like somehow converting your people into their people. That's also, you know, it's been done. I hope they end up doing something more original. Spiders or scorpions? Yeah, I was never too bothered by either. I think I mentioned it before that I'm much more how should I say, scared of you know, snakes or anything like that. Maybe it's because spiders, you know, any spiders you might encounter here in Finland are basically small and harmless, right? I still know a ton of people who don't like spiders or are afraid of spiders, even here, but I don't know, I never felt that. Is this the end? I think so. I can read that. Wait, cock, that means how? Or, yeah. Yeah, I can only read the previous part of that. So, English please, or I won't understand. English, spasiba. Indoctrination. Yeah, you know, they done indoctrination. They did the collector thing, you know, that they basically you know, that's what the Reapers do, you know. They take your people and they repurpose them into their own troops. And they did that again with the Ket and the Angara. And it's like, all right, you've done it. You need to find another thing to do with your meanies. How lucky. Oh, lucky. I need to brush up my Cyrillic alphabet reading skills. Oh, and yeah, I went in on Sunday night looking for the Ash Titans that were supposed to spawn in free play, but I didn't encounter any. But you know, we'll have I know I'll play the game, so it's not like I need to be convinced of anything at this point. So I think I will do some kind of another discussion stream before the game is actually out. You know, we might get some new interesting info, and even if we don't, it could be cool to, you know, these streams are so easy to miss. So it could be cool to maybe just do this video again or something. Oh yeah, you know what? I thought I had some endgame loot here. Maybe I was wrong. Let me just check. I could just repeat it. Yeah. If you want to see. Endgame loot spoilers. Yeah, so I guess I don't think they'll be doing this for the, you know, common items. So it could be tied to rarity. That if you get something that's a masterwork or legendary, they'll do this more ceremony when decrypting the stuff. Oh, they released a new video on Endgame. Interesting. I wonder if it's the same stuff that I had here. So yeah, I never got to try out what I have here. No, legendary is the yellow, the highest tier. Masterwork is orange, is below it. Epic is purple, below that. And then comes rare, uncommon, common. Yeah, that was it. So I will cut this into a VOD. Do the levels of the rarities max out? Ooh, I think so. There was something about that in the cortex. Hold on. Oops. I'm not sure there was exactly that. I think so, because your pilot level, like your character level, determines what rarity of items you can get. So for example, up to the level that we could play in the demo, you couldn't even get epic loot. You have to be at a certain level to be able to get epic and higher. So your pilot level determines that. I'm not sure if there was anything about the level of the items themselves, whether that is as well like restricted to certain windows. Probably, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I don't yet know a ton of stuff about the legendaries, the yellow items. I kind of don't want to know everything. I want to be surprised. I just I do know that you're not going to be, you know, if you think Destiny exotics, you're not going to be restricted to just one one legendary per category. I'm not really sure how rare they'll be. I don't know if you can craft them or get blueprints for them. So there's some questions still. Man, I can't believe I forgot to change my stream settings. Oh well. This has been super mobile friendly. I don't normally stream 720p at 30 FPS. But here we are.